How well do you understand the process of workers' compensation? Here are a few basic facts about workers' compensation that you need to know as a member of the workforce. Keep watching. It's the law. There are certain benefits and types of insurance that an employer, your company, can choose whether to offer or not offer to its employees. Workers' compensation is not one of them. All employers are required to carry workers' compensation by law in an attempt to protect the workers and their families. However, the degree of coverage depends on each state. Certain states have different factors and levels of their workers' compensation. Things could vary by the state, such as the types of injuries that are and are not covered, what employees are covered, the time frame an employee has to file a claim, etc. Each state also has certain limitations on policy amounts, both minimums and maximums. From there, the company can either decide to insure with an insurance company by themselves or get involved in the state's workers' compensation program. Both the state and your employer are trying to protect you to their fullest capabilities. You should take the time to learn the state workers' comp regulations wherever your company calls home. Fault. One fact about workers' compensation claims that many people don't realize is having to or not having to prove your employer is guilty. It puts a strain on many people when they're faced with filing or not filing a claim. If they love the company they work for, they don't want the employer to suffer. Not to worry. You don't need to prove that your employer is responsible in order to receive compensation for the injury you sustained. In fact, workers' compensation is what's called no-fault insurance. That means that it's meant to protect you from things like medical expenses and missing out on work, regardless of who is at fault. The focal point of workers' comp is to make sure you and your family's future isn't compromised by the severity of your injury. All you need to do is prove that the injury you sustained was at work and that you were using best practices when the accident happened. Unsure how to go about doing that? No problem. Hire a trustworthy attorney with years of workers' comp experience to help you build your case. Long-term effects. As you go throughout your work, there may be some injuries or illnesses that you accrue after years of doing the job that you do. For example, if your job involves typing for a majority of the day, you may develop carpal tunnel syndrome over time. If you work in a factory, you may develop respiratory complications from breathing in harmful fumes. Whatever the case may be, workers' compensation also applies to those long-term injuries you may have. Building that claim can be a bit tricky, so you'll want to have an attorney on your side to compile evidence. Some of the evidence you'll need for a long-term injury will contain more research and studies by professionals, rather than gathering photos and witnesses for an accident that happened. Because of that, your attorney will reach out to their network and find experts that can attest to the long-term side effects of your job. Now that you have a basic understanding of workers' compensation claims, it's time to file for the compensation that you deserve. However, you shouldn't do so without doing proper research to make sure you qualify. If you do, then join forces with a workers' compensation attorney to receive the maximum return that you deserve. For more inquiries, please reach out via our contact page and we'll be happy to schedule a free consultation with you. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.